freaking love this show. But yes, we do officially have word that season 9 will happen. No idea as to when just yet. I'm sure COVID has affected them in a similarly negative fashion as it has us. Okay, nerds, we have so much not to talk about, actually. This is a really, really small episode. It is getting towards the end of the year. This happens with the news, especially during COVID, apparently, because usually this doesn't start happening until about the end of October, which is why at the end of November, I start to take time off. So, time off being the entire month of December, the last week to 2 weeks of November, and the first week to 2 weeks of January, we will be doing no episodes, no proper episodes anyway. Potentially, we will be doing the rumor episode because, I got to keep doing something, but that will just be a single episode a week that will be much, much shorter. And yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. I'm leaning towards doing the rumors episodes, but I can't, it's not going to be super consistent because there will be time taken, weeks will be taken off to go visit family and so on and so forth. So thank you again for joining me. That's all we have. I have the do you even pop culture, bro? That's the shirt that is sponsoring today's episode. You can find that over on the Teespring store, link down in the description. And we're going to just jump into this news. So music normally would be how we start the episode, but there are no music updates. So let's get into TV streaming. TV streaming is all follow-ups, so no brand new news. We're only going to be talking about follow-up things that we've already been discussing for a time at this point. So first up, we have Ghost Writer. That's right, the rebooted series it used to be on PBS back when I was a kid, and then they rebooted it over on Apple TV+. It just got announced that they're doing a season 2, which is super exciting. It's such a fun show. Honestly, haven't watched the entire thing, but, nostalgia counts for something, so if you're a fan or if your kids are a fan, then October 9th will be the first day of the first upload of the new season. I can't remember how Apple TV does it, but, there it is. So that's what we've got there. Next, we're talking about Netflix, and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance series has been canceled after the first season. The fans of the Dark Crystal are super bummed about this, but apparently there's like 10 of those dudes, so I'm totally downplaying it. It does suck. I honestly have not watched the season just yet. There's so much other stuff on my plate that it's not really high on my priority list. Like Raised by Wolves is definitely high on my priority list, and gearing up for The Haunting of Bly Manor is high on my priority list. So other than that, I don't know. I like the Dark Crystal, but it's whatever. I'm going to stop rambling now. We're moving on next to the Emmys, and this is a correction as well as a follow-up because, wow, I'm dumb. I totally misread that Star Wars Mandalorian announcement. I read it as saying The Mandalorian has won all of these things. But no, The Mandalorian was nominated for all those things because the Emmys just happened like 2 days ago. I didn't watch it, so I can only see the news updates, and even the news places that are favorable to such things did not paint it out to be a great event at all, so kind of glad I didn't watch it. But the full list of winners is linked down in the description, so you can definitely click on that and go see. But honestly, if judging by the ratings, by the number of people who watched it or didn't watch it, I guess is probably more appropriate, there are videos on YouTube that go up and get more watches in a single day than the Emmys did on terrestrial television. That should tell you something. Anyway, so yeah, you can go find that down in the link down below. And then our last piece of follow-up news has to do with Letterkenny. Freaking love this show, but yes, we do officially have word that season 9 will happen. No idea as to when just yet. I'm sure COVID has affected them in a similarly negative fashion as it has us. So hopefully 2021 will see the release of season 9. Very likely, I should say, 2021 will see the release of season 9 and potentially season 10, because that's the growing trend amongst Letterkenny seasons, is they're so short they can do 2 in a year. But again, that is totally speculation. That is also the end of the TV streaming section. Now we're talking about movies, and honestly, the fact that that's a plural is a misnomer. This is movie section. This is... Wow. Okay, so we have one piece of news, and honestly, like, I don't generally pad episodes, but this is a little bit of a stretch. The only reason I put it in here is because it's Akira. Akira is getting re-released into IMAX. There is a 4K remaster that they are putting into IMAX theaters on September the 24th, so 2 days from now, or probably tomorrow as you're watching / listening to this, because it takes me a minute to edit these bad boys and get them up. So very likely, as you're watching or listening, it is already the 23rd. So definitely go find, I linked to a site where you can see what theater, because it's a very limited release, but it should be in a theater that you should be able to get to. IMAX only, 1-day event. If you can, you should. And it's going to be amazing. I got to move on. That's all we've got for movies. Now, this brings us to honestly the biggest normal section for this episode, and that's gaming and tech. And we have a couple of follow-ups. First up is TikTok. For those fans of the app, you already know, but for those that haven't been keeping tabs and you just get it from me, thank you very much. But here is the update. TikTok is not banned, strangely, which is fine because there's no reason, whatever. The way they worked around, at least temporarily, is Oracle purchased 12.5% of the company, and Walmart purchased 7.5% of the company. So basically, ByteDance, who is the major parent company, the Chinese company, the reason why this is such an issue to begin with, has 80% of the company under its wing. So they're still potentially taking our data over to China. But now that Oracle and Walmart are also taking our data and trying to sell us stuff, it's totally okay. I'm totally being facetious. I think it's a little silly, but it is what it is. And TikTok is here to stay, at least for the time being. And then our next piece of follow-up news has to do with 3DS. An episode or two ago, we talked about how Nintendo has discontinued manufacturing the console, the handheld console. And they just came out again a couple days ago and said, just because we're not manufacturing the console doesn't mean we're not going to still support it. So that being said, they are going to be maintaining the eShop, all of the online services for the 3DS for the foreseeable future. There are no plans to shut down that support. They are just not manufacturing the console or producing new games past, now. So that's what we've got in gaming and tech follow-ups. Now for brand new news, and I'm not going to bury the lead on this one, Microsoft has purchased Bethesda. This is kind of awesome, especially if you are a PC gamer, because that just means PC, you're going to get the launch titles just like the console guys do, because Bethesda has kind of had great console launches and average to mixed PC launches, and this should help them a bunch. So the big thing that's going around now, and even IGN is jumping on this bandwagon saying, oh no, all of the Bethesda games going from here forward are going to be Microsoft exclusives, so you're only going to be able to play them on your Xbox console or on your PC, and screw those guys over at Sony. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. I can't say that I know this as 100% fact, but I do know that Microsoft is a very big fan of making money. And I also know that Bethesda has already in place contracts with Sony. So at the very, very least, the planned games that we're going to launch on both consoles or as Sony exclusives, because I believe there's one or two of those even, will remain as such. Going past that, I don't think that this relationship is going to do that at all. I don't think that Bethesda is only going to make games for the Microsoft consoles, because they make money doing selling to everybody as well. And Sony owns some in-house developers that develop for other consoles, namely the Xbox. They also develop for the Nintendo Switch. So like it's clickbait. It's nonsense. It's garbage. Don't believe them. Nothing is going to change too dramatically, except if you do have an Xbox gaming console, or if you do subscribe to Xbox Live on your PC and you get the Game Pass, that extra $5 or whatever it is, $7 a month, then you will get any Bethesda title on launch day in Game Pass. So if you already pay that monthly fee, you will automatically get, and here, I think next week or so is when they're planning on, because this was not in the official announcement, you had to kind of dig for this. They are going to be putting all current generation Bethesda games into Game Pass. So if you pay for your Game Pass, then you will be able to play everything Bethesda has produced for the Xbox One very, very soon. And everything Bethesda will produce for the Xbox One and Series X will also be in Game Pass on the same day that you can purchase the physical copy, which is kind of gigantic. So that's what we have there. Next is rumor confirmation for Mortal Kombat 11. Now, I'm going to preface this very, very briefly in that Mortal Kombat 11 has not officially made this announcement. I am just calling this early because I feel like I can read what Ed Boon is linking to, and I have no strong desire for the next DLC character in one way or the other. So we talked about in the rumors in the last episode how he's look up to the skies and see the Queen lyric, and then he gave us the second clue for who the next DLC character was going to be that announced. And it was a video link from a movie made in 1984. It just so happened to be a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, so that was irrelevant, as Ed Boon said in the tweet itself. But the date seemed to be the only other thing that could be of relevance. Maybe Wes Craven somehow. But 1984 is the same year that Prince's Purple Rain came out. And if you remember, Rain, the character in Mortal Kombat, it kind of stems from a joke about Prince, because Rain is a purple ninja and he's a prince of Edenia. So yeah, that's where I am calling it right now. The next DLC character announced for Mortal Kombat 11 will be Rain. I need to do a little bit more digging. I'm pretty sure this is Ed Boon going back on his word, but that's just me. That's all we've got for gaming and tech. Now we're talking rumors. So first up is a real quick and fun one or actually it's two. Excuse me. Yeah, first day with the new vocal cords. Yeah, sorry. So Flashpoint is our first set of rumors, and the first rumor for Flashpoint is Grant Gustin is apparently going to be making a cameo to kind of trade spots with Ezra Miller from the Crisis on Infinite Earths event that happened on CW. Ezra Miller came in at the very end of that. So now apparently they're working out a similar deal with Grant Gustin making a short cameo in the Flashpoint movie. They're calling it The Flash, but come on, man, it's Flashpoint. Okay, so the other rumor is a little bit more bizarre, and that is that we're going to finally see Nick Cage proper as Superman in a movie, in a live-action movie, because, yes, he voiced Superman in the Teen Titans Go to the Movies movie, but that doesn't necessarily count because we didn't see him in the suit. So now, the rumor says they are working on a bunch of crazy, quote-unquote, crazy cameos, and Nicolas Cage is one of them. So, likelihood of these two things. I think the Grant Gustin thing is basically a done deal because of the bit that we got from the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I'm saying that's a 75% chance likelihood that it's going to happen. As far as Nicolas Cage, I mean, he is broke, kind of. So maybe I don't think that that's necessarily the direction they're going, but there is a fair possibility for that. So I'm saying 30% on the likelihood that Nicolas Cage will be Superman in the Flashpoint movie. Our next rumor has to do with James Bond, the movie after Daniel Craig's final movie, which is No Time to Die. They are reportedly going to be recasting the role of James Bond. This is not news. Craig has been trying to retire from this role for a long time now, so it's about time that he finally, okay, I'm done with the suit, you can find the next guy. Well, the new rumor says that Tom Hardy is number one on the list to replace him. They want Tom Hardy very bad. And actually, the rumor says that they were going to make this announcement back in November, but coronavirus, so now reportedly it's going to happen sometime early in 2021. Likelihood of James Bond being Tom Hardy, I can't really call this one. I'm going 50-50 because I can't. There's nothing to base this on. That being said, that's what we have for James Bond. Now we're moving next over to Killmonger. So Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger is reportedly getting a prequel of some sort. What kind of prequel? The rumor doesn't go into that kind of detail. It leaves it open. It could be a Disney Plus series prequel, or it could be a movie prequel. They kind of make it sound like it has to do with, getting Michael B. Jordan to sign on to do it, and then also working out the story and, which medium is more appropriate for that kind of story. So that's the extent of this rumor. Likelihood for this one, I think this is pretty strong. I honestly think we've got about a 60% chance that this is going to be a thing. To go any higher than that, I would need a little bit more confirmation or a little bit more solid source. And this is kind of not the greatest source. So that is what it is. Next, we're talking about Star Trek. Apparently, number 4 in the Kelvin timeline has been officially canceled. There is reportedly a memo going around in Paramount saying that Paramount is no longer in the business of making Star Trek movies. They are only going to be making Star Trek series on CBS All Access. And that's even going to be changing. Remember, we talked last time that the CBS All Access is going the way of the buffalo, or technically it's just changing its name to Paramount Plus. But Paramount Plus will be doing all of these Star Trek series going forward, and there will not be movies, according to the rumor. Likelihood that this is a thing is pretty small. Honestly, we will see Star Trek in the future. How far in the future? That part still remains to be seen. Are they going to try another reboot universe? Who knows? But we will be seeing Star Trek in the future. So this, on a long enough time frame, is 100% false. So 0% likelihood that this is true. But as far as where Paramount is right now, I'd say we got about a 25% likelihood that is the case for at least the next 5 years. So then we're moving over to Blair Witch, which is a thing I didn't realize was still going on. Blair Witch is now reportedly going to be getting a series treatment that deals with, it sounds like it might have been, no, actually, I take that back. It is going to be, according to the rumor, it is going to be a sequel to the first 3 movies and comic books and all that jazz. Going to do with kids looking to see if they can find the actual places from the movies and so on and so forth. So, likelihood of this, I don't know. It seems like a thing that a studio would do, but it also seems like something that nobody wants and nobody asked for. So putting those two things together, we got a 25% likelihood, I feel like, of this being a real thing. Next, we're talking about 2 pieces on Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Apparently, we have 2 series, spin-off series in the works. Very likely limited series, the first of which being a Dumbledore series with Jude Law in the role, and a second being a Grindelwald series with Johnny Depp playing the role. This is honestly Warner Brothers trying to emulate what Disney's doing. It is totally what that sounds like. Or Universal. It's Universal that owns them, right? Yeah. Either way, the likelihood that this is in the works at some level, I think that's pretty likely. I think we're going with a 60% likelihood that this is in the works. Now, whether or not we're actually going to see either of these, that's probably a 50-50. It depends. There's a lot of variables at play here. We've got court cases going on with Johnny Depp. We've got contracts that need to be signed all across the board. So much going on as far as scheduling and stuff. And honestly, how much of a series they want to turn these into probably factors greatly into this as well. So likelihood we'll see something like this probably, again, 50-50 at best. Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with myself, probably more like 30% on both counts. And then our final rumor has to do with Smallville. Smallville is reportedly getting an animated sequel. The animated sequel is, if it happens, is going to be based on the season 11 comic books that were released by DC, and just kind of sounds awesome. They do say that it is highly dependent on the main cast returning to voice their characters, so potentially that could be a thing. Rosenbaum is one of the other holdouts for doing stuff like this, but he's a big voice actor these days. So if they get the right contract in front of him, that should probably seal the deal for the rest of it. Welling, we know he's okay with doing this character for peanuts, because that's apparently what he got paid for that Crisis on Infinite Earths cameo that he had on the CW. Yeah, just very awesome if it's true. So the likelihood that this is true, again, the likelihood that they want this to happen is probably pretty high. But the likelihood that we're going to be seeing something like this, I feel like that doesn't really fit a lot with the CW's programming. An animated series for a series that they've done previously, I can't go above a 30% likelihood on this. I feel like there is a fair amount there for them to do something with, but whether or not they actually want to do something with is slim pickings. So that is the rumor mill, guys. And that also is the episode. What did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If though you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net, or the Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy, or you can just, do all of the things and the stuff and go check out the links in the description. And that's all we got. So we're going to head out. If you want to, if you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, then there's boxes below my face. You can do that. Click or tap one of those, take you to other places right here on the channel. And we'll see you in the next one. Before we head out, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.